Hi y'all, so today we're going looking for stinging nettle. We'll see what we can see. Along creek beds and river banks is one of the best places to look. They like shady soil that's moist. And we'll see if we can find some false nettle too and show you the difference between the two. Let's go. So here we have some false nettle. And a lot of times they grow more in clumps. Stinging nettles will, especially if you grow them yourself in good soil, they'll clump up more. But a lot of times in the wild they're more separated. But the false nettles, the older they get, the more clumpish they'll get, and they'll get a big clump of plants. So we'll just pick this so we can compare it later. And we got a spice bush here. You can use it to season meat. An aster here. These have beautiful purple flowers in the fall. They're related to ragweed, but they should not get you allergies like ragweed would. And as you can see, we have a giant spring over there coming out of the hillside and remnants of watercress that used to be growing there. It's too late in the year now for that here. It's about the end of June. Looks like there's a wild lace cap hydrangea up on the hill. Let's go and take a closer look. Very pretty, not quite as showy as the tame ones, but still a very pretty plant. And these should grow all the way up the Appalachian Mountains. So here's a good comparison between Virginia creeper and poison ivy. Virginia creeper has 5 leaves, where poison ivy has 3. I do not get poison ivy, which is why I'm touching it. There you go, growing right next to each other. That can be quite confusing for a lot of people. And I think I see some wild ginger over here. And there's also another plant that has heart-shaped leaves like this, but a lot of times they'll be a little bit speckled. So if you see a speckled leaf, do not eat it. Let me pull one of these up. And these, the settlers would use wild ginger a lot. Let me get my knife out. They would use it a lot as basically a ginger substitute. So you can use it, they would use it to calm the stomach, or a spice. They would dry it. Really anything you'd use ginger. One thing is, it is mildly poisonous. Of course, a lot of plants, all spinach has a mild amount of toxins. But the main thing is, don't eat too much. I mean, if you ate 4 pounds of it a day for a month, it's not gonna be good for you. And I usually just don't eat it, but you can sort of suck on it. It tastes almost just like ginger. So if you were in the wild and you had some meat that you wanted to cook, this would be a great spice for that. Like I said, you always want to be careful how much. People make tea out of it, use it medicinally. You just want to be careful on the amount you use. But this is a very nice stand here. A lot of times it likes it on clip size like this. Beautiful plant and very tasty. So if I was foraging in the wild, I would probably get some of that if I were, to mix in with my other greens or meat, because it is very hard to make wild food taste good without your spices. So that's why the spice bush and the wild ginger is so important when you're eating wild food, because you can really spice it up. And it's all over in here. This is one of the best stands of it I've ever seen. And here we got some liverwort, and right now that's not really good for much. In the spring they have nice little purple flowers, one of the first flowers to bloom in the spring. Got a baby box elder here, which looks almost identically to poison ivy. I like to call it a poison ivy tree. One time I was walking through here and I saw a bobcat go right through that log, that hollow log right there. That was pretty neat. I wish we had that for you to see today. Oh yeah, this is stinging nettle right here. This is all full of it right here. So this stuff is really rough, especially if you get out of swimming, you're barefoot, and you go walking on the bank, and you walk through this stuff. The top of the leaf does not really have any nettles that poke you. It's all on the bottom. So when you're walking along barefoot and your foot comes up and hits that bottom, right on your soft top of your foot, whew, that is rough. So let's pick one of these. If you have on your calluses, it's not so bad. You can, it does not sting you quite as bad. On your soft skin, on the backs of your hands, I burnt myself a little there, that's why it's red. That's really where it gets you on the soft skin. So you can see all the little fuzz there, those are what get you. And the more you get, the worse it gets. And if you're sweaty and hot, it's worse. But these are great for people who make tea out of it for medicinal uses. The seeds, if you harvest the seeds, people will use it to help the kidney. A lot of different things people use. Not saying whether they work or not, but I have used it. Tastes, it's great to make a pesto with. I almost like it better than a basil pesto. All different things you can use it for. I'm not a big fan of the tea. It has this sort of nasty taste in my opinion. So here we have a false nettle on that would be my right, and this one is a stinging nettle on my left. So as you can see, there's a reason they call it a false nettle. Very close. So one way you can tell if you look really close, the little spines are way bigger on the stinging nettle, and a lot of times the leaves have more jagged teeth. And if you want to harvest this, you'll want gloves because, I mean, it really wears. The more you get, the worse it is. Or take a scissors or clippers, hold your bowl, and just go and clip it into your bowl. And that's really the ideal way to do it. You can use them in stir fries, cook them in with bread. So many ways to cook it, and really so many. It has thiamine, niacin, a lot of B vitamins. Such a good plant for you. And if you do get a bad case, people have different remedies for it. One is, some people say if you rub your hands in mud, it will cure it. I'll see if I can get a good, yeah, that's hurting. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can get a good case where it'll actually leave a little bit of blisters. But the stem's all even worse. So I'm gonna do an experiment here. I have heard that if you put jewelweed on it, and I saw some back there a little ways, we'll go back and get some. I've heard if you put jewelweed on it, it'll actually stop the stinging. Where, I mean, mud, some people say it works, some people don't. Yeah, I got a nice case of it. So let's go and get some jewelweed and see if that helps. So here we have some jewelweed, and this has beautiful orange jewel-like flowers when they bloom. People also use this for poison ivy. So if you just crush up the leaf, I don't know, I hope you can see this. It's really blistering up nice, isn't that neat? Those things will really get you. So let's see if this, I've never tried this before. Let's see how this works. Sort of crush that. Jewelweed, the one good thing is they like the same climate as stinging nettles. They grow in the same moist river sides. They like a little more shade, more towards the actual edge of the creek. You know, that actually is working. They're like all the sting. I got some in my fingers too. It just feels, it's like soothing. A little slimy, but it feels, yeah. That's actually pretty amazing. I would definitely say that makes a difference. And I'm gonna flex my hand there. I don't know, I hope you can see the blisters sort of raised. So thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We have some other foraging videos. Most of these are based in northern Alabama. Of course, a lot of this same stuff is going to go all the way up the Appalachian Mountains, and some of it all over America and Canada. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.